lovely to see you. It's too cold to be outside. Do I need to say that? Well, I'm saying it. It's too cold to be outside. So we are inside with the rocks, and I never mind doing this. So today I've got a big one and two small ones, and the small ones are interesting, and the big one is sort of an old favourite. And this got a little label on it, which I'm going to take off so it's not in the way. Although it'll probably, oh no, he hasn't left much of its fixative on. It is Aquapraise, probably from Zimbabwe. And let me show you, this is just beautiful. I'm guessing, well, I don't know. This does look a bit like chrysoprase. It's probably one of those minerals that nobody really knows what it is. But isn't it fabulous? Good morning to everybody who's jumping on. It is great to have you with us. Good morning, Mike. So this is really cool. This is from my friend Jenny's collection. And the label on this one was a bit hard to read, and so I looked around to see if there was another one the same, and that one was a little bit easier to read. It's only a little dot label. She's tiny writing, and it's very legible. And it's this fabulous thing. So I thought that was wonderful. Aquapraise. Maybe this part is sort of a bit aquamarine. I don't know. It's probably more the fact that this looks kind of like green seawater. I don't know. But isn't it wonderful? There it is. And look at this part. Well, I don't know. See, it's sort of brown and white, and I think this is such a beautiful stone. So I'm glad I thought, oh, what's that? And picked it out to show you. I better put the sticker back on. We have to know what these things are. It's part of the fun. So, sticker back on. Now, this one I know, because I bought this one. This one's one of mine. This is from Australia. No, I don't know which part, although there's a little label somewhere which might tell me. I can't remember. But obviously, it's this beautiful double terminated. In fact, it's got a tiny twin point there. Smoky quartz, which, you know, like this is the part of the geode that it grew in. But isn't it fabulous? It's like a little capsule or a little spaceship. And it's quite perfect, and it's just attached by the termination at the bottom to the other sparkly quartzy little bits that it grew with, and I think it's beautiful. See, it's got some writing on it, which doesn't make a lot of sense. It just says 126. Everything seems to have a number. Oh, what I have noticed, maybe you can see there are some faint sort of geological lines in the colour, not so much in the shape, but I don't know if you can see them, but it's quite beautiful on the outside if you really stop to look at it. So there you go. Those are the two small and interesting ones. I do love this. I bought it on Trade Me years ago. It's even got this, you know, see that face has got a slight indentation. It's a little bit skeletal. It's got a little bit of everything in it. And these beautiful shiny facets. So, there you go. And last but certainly not least, I need two hands, is this Carmelina. Good morning. This is, like I said, this is an old friend. Put its hand up and said, show me off today, please. So this also is smoky quartz. But it's what I really like about it is all kinds of things. I like that it's kind of like ice quartz, actually, because it's got all these little fractures inside the points, and it kind of looks like ice. It doesn't quite feel like ice. It's not that cold inside. It's cold outside. I love that it's kind of bristly. I love that the colour is consistent all the way through. It's just this beautiful smokiness. And, you know, you can see it was cut off something. It's part of a bigger piece, a much bigger piece that came into the country and broke in transit. And that was very tragic for the person that imported it. But really lucky for me because I got this piece. So there it is. And the other thing I like about it is that it's got all this stuff sitting at the bottom of the points, which just adds colour and interest and beauty. And look at all the stuff that's going on there. So I like these things that are less than perfect and therefore far more interesting. There it is. That's there. You can see this is where it broke off from whatever it was that it was attached to. Good morning, Jen. It's great to see you. Kathy, good morning. I'm blessed to be in your company too, you know. It's a sharing, it's a collaboration we create by being together, so I'm grateful to do that. And today, what the hell did I want to talk about today? I wanted wanted to talk about being your future now because from the point of view of the fact that we actually have to live it before it happens, and we have to do it while everything around us is still looking exactly the same. Because I've been doing that, right? And because it's so normal and natural for all of us, me too, to believe, accept, believe, and surrender to the very programmed and conditioned idea that I get to feel happier or wealthy or healthy or in love or whatever it is because something outside of me has changed. And then, okay, now that's changed, I'm going to feel different. And that just, if you insist on that, then that's fine. But you can wait a very, very, very long time. And meanwhile, while you're waiting and saying, well, I'm going to wait for my lover to turn up before I feel love. I'm feeling lonely. I'm feeling unhappy. I'm feeling whatever it is. And I'm not going to change that until somebody outside of me turns up to make me feel loved. You don't know how long that's going to take. And meanwhile, remember, every time you think that lonely thought and feel that lonely feeling, your body is getting that message chemically, which means that it is expressing itself genetically in alignment with your feeling. Because the chemistry that pours from your brain when you think those thoughts goes into your cells, hits the receptors on the cells. Morning, Lauren. Morning, Eric. Activates the DNA. It sends a message into your cells, within moments to seconds. And your DNA gets signaled and it produces proteins to maintain the structure and function of your body according to the information that it gets from you. So if you're saying, well, I've got to wait for something that comes outside of me for me to change, you don't know how long that could be. And meanwhile, because if you're sending stressful emotions and feelings and thoughts through and through your body for a long period of time, meanwhile, you just might do that for long enough to signal your body into disease, because this is just a fact. This is what we do. If you're feeling stressful feelings and thinking stressful thoughts, you are in a stressful state. And when you are in a stressful state, your body is in survival. And when it's in survival, it is not putting any energy into repairing things or making new stuff. It's just saying we have to conserve all our energy to run away from the lion. Andrew, good morning. So, it's a bit of a problem if you're saying, well, I've got to wait until that person that I really want to be with comes along before I start feeling love, because you don't know how long that's going to be. And meanwhile, your body, because you're feeling lonely and sad and depressed and everything else, your body's essentially running away from a lion 24/7, 365 out of 365, and you're making yourself sick. So never mind the fact that while you are in that lonely, sad, depressed, nobody loves me space, who in heck is going to want to be with that except somebody else who's like that? Never mind that. Just apart from that, you're making your body sick. It's just a fact. If we persist in a stressful state of mind and heart, and I don't mean necessarily, most of us think, oh, stress, there's too much to do, my work is stressful, whatever. But anything that isn't actually happy, relaxed. Oh my God, Heather, it's you. Good morning. Woo! I haven't seen Heather for a long time. I'm very excited. I'm always excited to see all of you, but never seen one of you for ages. It's really exciting. So, if you keep on sending the message that I am stressed, I am sad, I am angry, I am resentful, I am lackful, that's been my thing, I am sick. If you keep thinking and feeling the same way, on and on and on and on and on, first, you're going to make your body sick. Because remember, the thought gives the feeling. The thought means neurotransmitters, which means neuropeptides, which go to your cells, fire up your receptors, send information into the cell nucleus where the DNA gets replicated, and it's done according to the frequency and the information of that thought that hits your cells. And if you keep doing that, well, that's just how you're programming your body to be. It will literally turn your thought into matter. Thoughts matter. Literally. Okay? There is a direct expression of your thoughts and feelings. So if you keep doing that, you're going to make your body sick. That's just fact. It's not. I'm not being a doomsday prophet. I'm just telling you how it is. So never mind that. The other thing that happens is that as long as you say, well, I'm going to wait for my lover before I feel loved. Like I said, if you are feeling lonely, feeling unloved, feeling lackful, feeling incomplete, the only person who is a resonant match for you is somebody who is the same. And there's a bit of problem with that because, what happens is that we've all seen this. Somebody that we know is desperate to meet a lover. And for some reason I'm talking about lovers, but it could be your healing or your abundance or your purpose in life, whatever it is. Somebody is desperate to meet a partner, and then they meet somebody. And it's their soulmate, and they're so excited, and we think the same, and we've had the same experiences, and it's awesome. And then a little while later, it all changes because they're essentially the same, and they're actually affirming their incompleteness and their lack and their sense of unworthiness and their sense of I don't feel loved, and they want the other person to make them feel loved. They want the other person to make them feel whole. They want the other person to make them feel accepted, but the only problem is that the other person wants them to make them feel loved and whole and accepted, and it doesn't work, and the whole thing gets really ugly, and falls apart. And actually thinking thinking sideways here, I think this is where that whole thing, which I'm going to call bullshit on, I really am, about, twin flames, soulmates, those words that tend to make me want to throw up because this whole idea that if you meet your soulmate, your twin flame, you've got this great difficult journey to go through to be together. I think that's why, because people meet this person where there is this intense resonance in common, and it's not necessarily that you're perfect for each other. It's just that you're a match. And whatever you have inside of you is going to be reflected in whoever you're with. So if you are feeling incomplete and unloved and unaccepted and judged and criticized and everything else, and you attract somebody else who's like that, you can bet the both of you are going to get a mirror full of all of that all the time, and that's really intense. And most people end up projecting their shit onto the other person, saying it's them, and they don't realize it's just more of themselves. It's the same self that they were before they met that person, and now they're just seeing themselves reflected in the other person because they're a resonant match. So this is why if you wait for something outside of you to change what's inside of you, how you feel inside, it can take you a very, very, very long time to actually get what you want. Because you're a resonant match for something other than what you want, and you don't realize that by staying there, you're still that. So you're not going to get anything different. And things come along, and, big changes can happen, but you're still the same person. And I've had exactly this experience in the last few weeks. Big change in my life. I know I've mentioned it. Still not talking about it. Abigail, g'day. Lovely to see you. Big change that a lot of people would say, oh, well, now you'll be happy. Now you'll feel, whatever it is that I wanted to feel. I'm not talking about it for good reasons. Positive change. You know how much difference it made? Virtually none. And I didn't expect it to, because I know myself. What it did do is actually put me into a situation where I've had to face so much more of my crap because it's there than I ever had to before, because it wasn't, because my life changed, taking a big step towards what I want to create. And everything inside me that wasn't that came up and yelled at me. And continues to. Because as I've said to you, if I want to do what I'm here to do and what lights me up and what gives me purpose and joy in life, my life has to change. And so everything in me that isn't living that new life, I have to overcome that. And I have to do it now while my life still looks a lot like it did yesterday and the day before. It is actually changing because I'm changing. But make absolutely no mistake, I'm the one that's changing first. I'm not waiting for the stuff outside of me to be different before I start to feel differently. And some of the feelings that I have been creating in myself, particularly recently, have been so previously unknown to me that I literally have had no idea how they feel. You know, if you think, oh, I don't know who I am in my future, don't let that stop you. The very fact that you don't want to be how your life is now and you do want something else, if you don't know what that is, well, that's fine, but start asking. Because if you start asking and if you be curious, and I talk a whole heap about how to do this, if you just get into wanting that more than what you're used to and familiar with, you will figure it out. And once you have some idea, you're not going to know it 100%. I don't know it 100%. But the more I explore and play and take steps into that, and, you know, I talked about my meditation practice over and over, definitely molting the old me. You're so right, Laura. The easier it becomes. And the more the feelings move from being this concept, which I can kind of, I know that feeling must exist, and it's like it's on the other side of, 10 panes of glass, and I can barely sense it and imagine it. And to where it's coming more real to me, and I can actually start to feel it viscerally and experience it. That's what I mean about becoming the new self. It really means I've got to be more in love with my future than I am with my past. And that sometimes means taking very significant practical steps that are completely not who you're used to being. And of course, when you encounter one of those forks in the road, and I know I spoke about it yesterday, everything in you that wants you to stay with what you know instead of going somewhere new, again, is saying, I'm in love with the old life. I want to stay here. It's familiar. It's safe. I know what to do here. And sometimes you just have to take a really big step in 3D and say, no. This is my choice. This is my free will. This is who I'm doing. This is who I'm being in advance of what I want to have arrive in my life. Because if I stay with who I've been, I'm still a resonant match for what I've had. And if I do something different and make a new choice, I am viscerally and physically and embodying and, genetically and chemically and neurologically and in every way saying, no, I'm going somewhere new. And you have to do that while you've still got the old life all around you. And remember I said yesterday, and this is very important to me, I'm passionate about this. This isn't about forcing myself to jump off a cliff so that I'm making that big choice, but I'm doing it in fear and I'm doing it in stress and like, oh my God, I hope this works out. I've done that before. That's crap. I'm still in the place of fear and lack or, or loneliness or sickness or whatever it is. That's not a change. That's still me being afraid, but now I'm forcing myself. I talked about courage yesterday. That's not courage to me. That's bravery. Just to play with words, I thought about it afterwards. Bravery is like you're white knuckle it, you're hanging on to the roller coaster and screaming your head off. Courage is meeting yourself enough to be able to take that ride without being in fear and to actually start to savor it. Now that's a new self. That's a new self. So when you do that, remember, when you think the new thoughts and you actually start to feel the new feelings, remember what's happening? New thoughts, new neurotransmitters, new neuropeptides, new signal to your body. The receptors on your cells, oh my God, different information. Yeah, whatever. It's only happened once. What? It came again? It only happened twice. What? You mean you've been sending me this signal for the last 6 weeks and it hasn't stopped and it's even getting a little more common? Maybe I better start paying attention. And the receptors start to change on your cells and you get different expression of DNA and your body changes. And hello, my body's changing. I know it. I feel it. I experience it. And you see, for me, I've spent a lifetime in lack. And yeah, I'm working at creating abundance. But to do that, I have to become abundant in myself, independent of my circumstances. And what I know with an absolute certainty, and I haven't really seen it in 3D yet, but the universe keeps dropping me breadcrumbs. I have these incredible synchronicities, things that, just wouldn't happen. Little winks, sometimes quite big nudges. Yeah, I got you. Yeah, I got you. It's okay. Relax. Keep doing it. Keep going. Keep doing what you're doing. I know that when I'm a resonant match to the future that I am creating, that I am, it's going to find me. And it's going to happen very quickly. I actually feel that now. For a long time, that was a great concept, and I listened to people tell their stories about how it's happened, and I understood it intellectually, but I'm beginning to feel it. I'm beginning to embody it. I'm beginning to know it. All still in the absence of very much physical evidence. But the less I need that, the more it's me, the more it's who I am. And it doesn't matter anymore. It's like I don't need any evidence outside of me to convince me to feel safe, or convince me to feel healthy, or to convince me to feel abundant, convince me to feel loved, whatever it is, because it's mine. I can't lose it. And it just doesn't matter, because when I'm a resonant match, it's immediate. I understand that now. I really do. I know it's coming, and I know it's here. It's here in me. And it's coming because as soon as I am enough of that, as soon as you are enough of that, it's going to find you. There's absolutely no question about it. It's a law. So that's all I wanted to say today. It is Wednesday. Yeah, that's my Wednesday. So much love. Thank you for joining me. Please share if you wish. I appreciate you sharing the word around. I appreciate, you sharing me with your friends. That's a blessing to me. Thank you so much. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.